Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another podcast from Turnium Technology Group. Today I have joining me Mr. Josh Hicks, which we've spoken several times in the past. Josh heads up he's a VP of our product development team. They've got a brand new product they've just released, and I'm excited for Josh to tell us a little bit more about it. Josh, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. So we're here today to talk about a product we recently soft launched called Insight, and that is a product that actually one of our partners built. And they built that taking advantage of the fact that our management platform for our SD-WAN product has full coverage of APIs. So what they've done is they've taken our existing platform and they've built their own application that augments a lot of the features and adds a bunch of new features that I think are quite useful to our partner base and anyone who potentially comes in to be a partner. And I'm excited to show it to you today.
Fantastic. So Insight, how does that complement the SD-WAN?
Well, really, I think it came out of, the fact that we really focus on the core of the SD-WAN stuff, the functionality that only our team can build. But there's a lot of additional features that either we haven't got to yet or that simply haven't made it to the top of the roadmap. And so our partner has a lot of experience using our product and really looked at it from a place of, what are the customers asking for? What's really going to make their life easier? So some utility type stuff and some really powerful additional feature type stuff. And I've got about 4 or 5 things here, Doug, that if I can share my screen out, I'd be happy to show you.
I'd love to see it, and I think the people viewing this video would love to see it as well. So yes, please share your screen and give us a walkthrough.
Okay, give me a second here. Okay, can you see that all right?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Awesome. So yeah, this is the main Insight dashboard that we're looking at. And for our existing partners, they'll notice that there's a whole lot of stuff available in our management platform that is also available here. And I just want to take a moment to call out why that's so important. And that's so that the majority of things that you're going to want to do on a day-to-day basis are also available in here, as well as all the additional features that our partners put into here. So it really gives you a single pane of glass experience for managing the Turnium SD-WAN overall. So we start here on a dashboard. Each one of these squares is representing a site and gives us a lot of useful information, the status of the site, the status of the connections to the site, recent activity on the site, and then notifications should there be any. There happens to not be any on our demo environment at this time. But let me start jumping into some of the stuff that's unique to this platform that adds above and beyond the Turnium management platform. So first stop is into our demo site here. And as you can see, these would all represent different client sites that are all together in a single tenant. And again, a lot of useful information up here that you'd want to see on a dashboard in a NOC type setting. IP space that's being used throughout these sites. If they're together in a wide area network, some of the settings that might be relevant there. But topology is where we get to our first new feature that is not available in the Turnium platform. And as you can see, we have a diagram here. And we have animations to show which sites for this overall customer are up, which ones are down. And then, of course, if we mouse over, we get some useful pop-ups where we can see some further information about these sites.
Wow, very impressive.
Yeah, then we can click on the map view and we get the same thing. We get a representation. This particular demo site is a collection of sites in and around the Toronto area, and we can see how everything is connected. And again, if we were to mouse over that, then we can get the name of the site. And then if we are to click on that, again, we get this mini dashboard that comes up here that gives us a bunch of useful information.
Impressive.
Yep.
This must be a useful tool for our partners to be able to quickly see what's going on inside of their customers' networks. Um, how have you seen? Because I understand from speaking to you offline that we've had a few customers now take this up, but
That's
when we say a few, we're talking about several hundred.
That's what I understand. And I got to say that the feedback has been fantastic, both in the OEM channel and the Turnium Managed channel. So I should mention that we've soft launched this product through both channels. So whether you're a Turnium Managed reseller or an OEM partner or are interested in becoming either, this is available through all channels. And I think one of the things I really like is the visual aspect, and the fact that they've really taken the time to think about what is the immediate information that you're going to want as someone who's supporting or in a knock role. And they've really taken the time to make sure that wherever you go through here, which we'll see, the immediate information you're always going to want to see is brought right to the front. You don't have to dig for it. It's a very well thought
Right.
out product.
So just for the listener's sake, in the SD-WAN world, so software-defined wide area networking, just to recap on that, is the ability to have multiple types of connectivity going into a device. So a router, let's say, or a network termination unit, and being able to have like a mobile connection, a fiber connection, a satellite connection. If one of these offices might have three of those connections, would we be able to see like that each of those interfaces in use, or is that what's being shown there on the screen?
Yeah, so I can actually hover. Well, each one of these dots represents a discrete connection, and I can actually hover over and I can get all the information you see here. And then this one
Interesting.
with the gray square around it represents the fact that that's a failover connection. So that connection is only ever going to be used if both of these connections are down at the same time. And then once one or more of them come back up, traffic gets moved back over. That's sort of a native part of our SD-WAN platform. But again, they've taken the time to bring all that information forward. So it's right in front of you almost at all times.
That's impressive. I really like that topology view and, being able to drill down and see what's going on in the network. That is really impressive. I could see why the partners would be, just gobbling this up as a new tool. Well done to your team. Is there anything else this thing can do?
Yeah, so let's dig into one particular site here, which is one of our main demo sites. And as you can see, we now start to get more information, but again, it's more of a dashboard view. And still the main information that you're going to want to know about the site is right there. A couple of these different tabs here, which I'll just go through quickly. This is all stuff for the most part that is also available in our management interface. So again, they took the time to bring things forward, whether it's information about the particular node that's at the site, more details about the actual network connections. You were just asking about the multiple network connections that come in and out. And then you can drill down and get more information on those if you like. Get into event logs. And here's the first thing that I want to point out, other than the map view we just looked at, where things get exciting. So we have configuration logs and we have device logs, but we have something here called alert history. Now you could say, fortunately or unfortunately, we haven't had any alerts on our demo site. So there's nothing really here for me to show you. But what's important to take away from this is that our platform provides all of the information that a partner would need to integrate it into or build an alerting platform, but it doesn't actually provide the alerts itself. Our partner here has taken the time to build that into this. So if I actually go down into configuration for a second here, and I go down into alerts, I've created myself an alert group, and I could have multiple recipients in here. And then if I go into, where am I? Configuration, I can actually decide the sensitivity of the alerts I want to receive. So these alerts are specifically for connections up or down, and they will trigger on either one of those states. Now, if one of our core nodes goes down, the alerts get suspended because that could be sort of a larger event going on in your data center that you're likely going to know about with your data center alerting. And you don't want this system to be spamming you with all
Yeah,
sorts of alerts. But assuming that your core is healthy, this will alert you about different sites and their connections going up and down. And you have some basic configuration here so that you can decide what level of sensitivity you want to be alerted on. So
that's
that,
really handy. That would be really handy for, like you said, your network operations center, our partners, to be able to have, to know when things occur and to be able to fine tune it like that. That is super impressive.
yeah, absolutely. Um, so going through here, there's a couple other things that I want to point out. Illuminate is the layer 4 to 7. I'm going to save that to last, Doug, because that is the most exciting part here. But there's a couple other things I want to show in the meantime. There's a tab here called add-ons, and this is a very powerful tool. There's the concept of just a pure SD-WAN node. We might call that a CPE, a customer premise equipment. But when you start to push multiple workloads onto that, we call it a UCPE, universal customer premise equipment. And the most popular additional workload would be a firewall. So in this tab here, they've created the functionality, and they currently have these 4 firewall workloads to choose from. One Clavister, and that is a subscription required, and then 3 open source. And what you can do is if you have an SD-WAN on a CPE at a customer site, you can, with a few clicks, have this system create a virtual guest on that CPE, push the firewall workload down onto that CPE, and then configure the networking. So now you have a universal CPE that not only is providing SD-WAN, the connectivity piece, it's also providing the firewall piece. The other exciting thing they've done is this thing here called SSH terminal. So we don't have SSH installed on this particular site, but if we did, I could move over to the tools and diagnostics and click connect. And rather than having to open a separate terminal and SSH into this site, if I need to get on the command line, I could simply click the connect button and it would open a terminal for me right here in the user interface. So a very, very
Wow,
powerful troubleshooting tool.
absolutely. Very impressive. This story gets better and better. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Well done.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and I can't take credit for it. Again, this is our partners built this. I think they've done a fantastic job, and it's something we've been really excited to launch for many, many months here.
Yes, I can see why.
Okay. The other thing I should mention is they have a feature that they've put in here called cloning. And cloning is important. And there's 2 kind of main use cases that float to the top of my mind when it comes to cloning. You could pick a site and then you can click a button. And let's say you have a partner that has a very specific configuration that none of your other partners have, and they're adding sites on a regular basis. You can take one of their sites and you can clone it. That way you don't have to build the site record from scratch. It will clone everything except the IP space, which obviously is not something you want to reuse. You want that to be discrete per site. So that's a very, very handy feature. You could also just make yourself, if you have a particular setup that you think applies to the majority of your customers, you could simply create that site record, and then you can just use that as your starting point. Just click the clone button and then take it and do the few things you need to customize for the partner. So when it comes to provisioning, again, saving time, making sure things are consistent, and just adding value.
I love it. I mean, that's the kind of things that really set Turnium apart on our SD-WAN is the fact that we We run on an x86 CPE or UCPE device, and being just loaded up with all these extra tools and services to make it simple for our partners to sell and manage SD-WAN. This just, to me, just makes it even more simple, and the reason why the partner would want to, again, adopt this technology.
Yeah, absolutely, Doug. Another really nice feature that they've added here is this audit tab. This just really gives you a complete shot of everything you have from an inventory perspective, right? So again, you've got sites, the specific keys for those sites, the spaces or tenants that those are in. You can add notes, obviously. Are they on one of the layer 4 to 7 plans? Is there a firewall deployed? All that kind of stuff. So again, they've taken the time to say, what are the things that we're always going and chasing down and having to go to multiple locations to find? And they've taken that and they've put it all in one dashboard, one click on the tab, and you have a complete view of everything you have under your management.
I like it.
Now, let's move on to the layer 4 to 7. That's called the Illuminate engine. So if I click on this tab here, and this is not available in our management platform. So this is very, very exciting. And if I scroll down here, we can see consumers of bandwidth. We can see event logs related to cybersecurity. And we can see what applications on this particular site are using different amounts of bandwidth. Again, they've taken out what I think is the most useful parts of the Illuminate dashboard, which we're going to look at in a second. And they've brought it forward so you don't ever have to leave this main product to get all of this very useful information. But what I really want to show you is if we click on the Illuminate button here, it's going to pass me through to a very rich dashboard with lots of layer 4 to 7 information. It's going to pass through the authentication details, so I do not have to re-authenticate. And it will simply open a tab where I get to a dashboard that looks like this. So let me take you through a couple of the really exciting things that this product offers, right? So let's focus on this down here on the right here, right? Top downloaders and top uploaders for this site broken down by application. Oh, my apologies. I'm in the bandwidth section. Let's get back to the main part here. That's where I wanted to be. So the network intelligence, we go down the right side here. Device discovery, what's been added to this customer's network recently. IP reputation, has anyone reached out to a known suspect IP? Is anyone using weak encryption, insecure protocols? Is there a crypto miner running? Are your staff members using VPNs at the office? And again, I want to stress here, none of this might be bad stuff. Some of it might be bad stuff. That's for the user to determine. You may support use of VPNs. You may not support the use of VPNs. The bottom line is you can see all this information here, and you can decide if that's something that concerns you or not. The other thing that's nice about this is that you can, again, subscribe to all of these events that we just looked at. So if you want to be alerted every time a new VPN comes up, you can sign up and receive those notifications if you like. Now, when we go down the middle here, we can see overall view of what's using the bandwidth at this particular site. We can see top devices and how much those are using. And we can see applications. What's nice about this view, and one thing I want to stop and point out about this is everywhere you go in this product, there are multiple places where you can drill down and just continue to get more and more and more information. And so one thing that's pretty hot topic right now is IoT devices, right? You buy an IoT device and maybe that IoT device is sending information back to the manufacturer, and maybe it's sending quite a lot of data back. And again, that might be something you're not concerned about. It might be something you are concerned about. You can see which countries the traffic in this site is going to, and you can make the determination if you think that's okay, or if that's not okay. And then you can drill down on that. So if I was to click on Australia, I could get a better view of what device on the network is communicating with different things in Australia. I can drill down again, and I can get even more information about what applications that particular client is accessing through remote IP, as you can see when it was done. So just lots and lots of data that is available to you in a scenario like that.
You know, Josh, what comes to mind here is the threats of cybersecurity this day and age, and people not knowing or having an event of activities that might have taken place, and being able to have the granular view on the traffic flow and device information, all of that. You know, being able to see, is there any malicious pieces of software passing data through your network? And like you said, there could be things that you allow, and if you do as an end consumer, the business, that's okay. But to be able to have the eyes on what's going on in this day and age is absolutely critical. And I can just see the enormous value in what you're showing me here. So again, well done to you and the team and our partner for developing this this application. This is a game changer in my view.
Yeah, no, I really, really was impressed with this as well, Doug. You can see down here, and it would take me quite a bit of time if I was to dig into every single one of these tabs and drill down into every single one of these. But let me just pull up applications dashboard, and we can just get a quick look here. And you can see before I've even started to drill down on any of this information, there's quite a bit of data here. And that kind of brings me to the second big use case we like to talk about with this is, I mentioned the IoT use case with where is the data from this customer's site going to, what countries is it going to, how much of it is going there, what time frame is it going in. But the other thing that is quite a common help desk call is the internet at the office is slow. And so the internet at the office is slow. You can, with a tool like this, easily see what applications are using that. You can tie that back to laptops, workstations, IoT devices. You can see the time frames. So, very easily you can pinpoint, why is the network slow? Is it a utilization or a bandwidth contention or a rogue application? Is that rogue application being sourced locally, or is it incoming traffic? These are all things that this product can easily show you.
Right, right. And you bring up a valid point there, like IoT devices this day and age. There's so many different devices that are coming at us where you can buy, just as a matter of convenience, pick up a device that might dim your lights that you can access through an app on your phone. If it's connected, the listeners need to hear this message loud and clear. If there is a device that connects to the internet, or you can access it from an app on a phone, it is a threat attack plane. It is a device that you need to know what is going on, where is it sending traffic. So what you bring up there, Josh, is incredibly important for the listeners to hear. I've heard cases where televisions are sending data to countries, and you just think, why is the TV screen in a boardroom transmitting data? Well, now with an application like this, you can actually see that, and you can follow the trail and ask yourselves those questions and decide whether or not you want that device to stay connected inside your network. So I can see enormous use of this tool. Thank you again for showing us this.
Yeah, my pleasure, Doug. As I wrap up here, I want to give a quick plug for the sales guys, and just say that a couple of the other things that we didn't show today, granular partner setups available through this tool. Tenant branding is all available through this tool. Two-factor authentication into the portal is available. Zero-touch provisioning that gets a step further than we do based on MAC addresses. And so if you are, again, an existing OEM partner or reseller through our Turnium Managed, or you're interested in becoming one, I'm sure the sales team would be happy to give you a deeper dive into this product and our SD-WAN product, as well as a deeper dive into the firewall workloads available, and a few more specific use cases for the layer 4 to 7 stuff that we just looked at, the Illuminate add-on.
Thank you, Josh. And, you're absolutely right. I think the sales team, they're standing by ready to help people. Probably the easiest way for anybody to reach them is just to drop an email to sales, and one of the sales members will be happy to reach out and work with you. We live and breathe this stuff, and we see the simplicity, but most of all, I see the additional tools set that we bring to these partners. And again, this day and age, being able to see things going on in your network is critical. It could be a game changer between being cyber safe and being cyber attacked. So, Josh, thank you again. Keep up the great job your team's doing. Keep bringing new products forward, and I'm sure the listeners, partners, and water community will thank you for all your efforts.
Thank you so much, Doug. I was really pleased to be able to show this to you today, and we're excited to launch this.
Thank you. Have a great day. Speak soon.
Thanks, Doug. You as well.